Fakakta Comedy Funhouse Network. Yes, welcome all of my friends to Couch Pilots. It's the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television pilots of the past. My name is Jason, a.k.a. the Black Mamba, and across from me is my co-captain and yours. His name is Captain Philip, rest assured. Good evening.
How you doing?
Hey.
Captain Black Magnet, how's it going?
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, eh? We're trying out Facebook Live for the first time ever. We'll see how it goes.
And our Italian accents, too?
Yeah, and it's, recording everything says it's going, so what are you going to do?
Say hi to Facebook.
Hi, Facebook.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. I'm super excited for tonight. It feels like it's been like a week since we podcast last, which is
Accurate.
But, getting into the video again, I think that brings a new... we have the security cameras in the plane.
Oh, of course.
And I got them all rigged up. I worked on it for 3 weeks, getting all the different...
Gizmos
and gadgets.
Here's the thing about Air Force One. You don't have the most high-tech plane in the world without gizmos and gadgets and security.
And that's what we're all about in this podcast. Mm-hmm. Gizmos, gadgets, and...
security.
It's definitely what we're about. So I worked for about 3 weeks to see if we can get this Facebook Live, try to get some listeners, and see how it goes.
What do you hope to accomplish? Just new listeners with this, or do you?
No, I don't hope anything.
No, you have no hopes.
I've lost the last hope. No hope.
Whoops.
This show is built on the back of his back burps.
I slipped a disc.
Ooh, I've been having back problems.
Burp related?
No.
Sex related?
No.
Oh.
So, but no, me and DSJ were throwing the frisbee around the other day, and I just tweaked my back a little bit.
You know what? You see kids on college campuses just gallivanting, and I don't get to say that word often, but they gallivant through the quad, throwing frisbees, carefree, footloose, and fancy free.
And not just like those regular like $1.99 frisbees. These are like hard frisbees.
Oh, like the frisbee golf discs. Yeah. And but people look like they're just having a great day. Oh, it's just a lot of fun.
You don't see anybody pissed off throwing a frisbee.
Never.
I've never seen anybody like, ugh, fuck this game.
That's true. You have to be happy while throwing a frisbee. And it's so frivolous that you wouldn't think that there could be an injury that comes from that. But obviously, I'm talking to someone who suffered that.
Yeah. As we talked about last time, we found DSJ in a field in Wyoming. He'd been missing. He had a bunch of paperwork saying he's married. Again, we're not going to release the girl's name yet because we're still working on...
You and I are knee-deep in paperwork right now.
Paperwork. There's also, you can't go around spouting a girl's name off and it comes to find out that they're not really married. So
that's right.
He asked if we could throw him a bachelor party. And we're like, well, you're supposed to have a bachelor party before you get married. So I was like, well, I'll throw the frisbee around with you for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he seemed to be fine with that.
Yeah. It's, a little bit goes a long way with him. I know he was asking earlier in the pilot's lounge. He's not obviously allowed in, but through the doorway, he was asking if, hey, maybe we could do like a Chuck E. Cheese bachelor party. Mm. And I was like, I think Captain rest assured has a frisbee in his trunk.
Right. And so he was nervous about playing frisbee with you because you are one of the nation's top frisbee golfers.
Yes. I don't like to brag on myself like that, but I am nationally ranked.
Right. So
sure.
I was, throwing around with him a little bit, try to, make him boost his confidence up.
It's hard for me to play frisbee with anyone. Like you said, people look happy and like they're having a great time when they're playing frisbee. That's I don't get that anymore. Mm-hmm. It's so technical. When you're nationally ranked, it's precision, it's power, it's technique, it's form, and I can't help but to put those expectations on other people when I'm playing with them. So I really can't anymore. It's all just competition with me.
Kind of like me with podcasting.
Exactly. Like you haven't had fun doing podcasting as hell as long as I've known you.
No, I don't think I ever have had fun. No, but we're still, just to update listeners, DSJ supposedly is married. We will be providing information once we get it confirmed. We don't want to be like CNN and just start spouting stuff off.
We don't give fake news. We confirm our sources. You know, we measure twice and cut once.
If Low Blow Podcast has taught us anything, it's that we don't report fake news.
Absolutely. That's absolutely right. And I will say, too, that I think a lot of this is kind of tied together, and I hope I'm not out of line in saying this, that we are doing some blood work with the woman who called recently to see,
correct,
am I the father of this child, and how many chromosomes will this baby have?
Right. I was kind of lay low on that, thinking that maybe people had forgotten about the voicemail, but there was a voicemail where a young lady said that you had impregnated her, that all you would give her was frequent flyer points.
They will. Just like bitcoins we talked about, it will translate into goods and services rendered. So just hold on,
calm the fuck down.
Yeah,
you know, squeeze your legs together, keep that baby in there until we get this resolved.
Cook it another month or so.
Whether we have to do it, there's three ways we can do this. We can talk face to face,
right,
and get it squared away. We can get lawyers involved, or we can have a Trojan War.
Yeah, and who wants a Trojan War? I don't.
I haven't had to have one of those in years.
Would that mean that you'd have to get inside of me to fool somebody? Is that what that means?
Well, we would get in a wooden plane and roll it up in front of her house.
Yeah,
and then have DSJ knock on the door, because DSJ is the person that's going to help us here.
He's got a poker face,
right? But
you can't read him.
Him and her are friends because that's how you guys met.
They know each other,
right?
Maybe even biblically. So we have to
biblicky.
Maybe
I know you biblicky.
Maybe even biblicky, as far as I know. Whew. That's a lot to put out there on our listeners. We like to banter up front and have fun, but it got really serious and heavy. Let's maybe take a step back from that and dive into some fan feedback.
Okay. Fan feedback. We have the voicemail line. What's the number? It's 910
Pilots 1.
Which
which translate very easily to 910-745-6871. Call us day or night, and like I always say, call us in the middle of the night. Call us about 3:30 a.m. if you would. That's going to be the best time to call us and leave that voicemail.
Yeah, definitely, because I'll be sleeping and won't hear it. All right, let's see if I can get this to work right.
All right.
Do you know what's on the docket for this one?
No, I have no idea. That's one of one of the true pleasures I have left in life, is coming in being surprised by the callers.
All right. Well, let's see what we can do here.
Hello, I'm Lori, the girl that's always cuddling with Big Dick T while listening to your show. I'm wondering when you'll all be flying down to California for the next Couch Pilots convention. When we get married, we'll make sure that the both of you live stream and provide commentary for our wedding. Hope you're having a great day. Safe landings, and don't go flying into any towers now. Oh, by the way, kudos for getting that Simpsons reference.
Oh, many things happened on there.
Hey guys, it's the boy.
No,
from your fellow FCF.
Not going to happen. Lori Garcia, she's from Puerto Rico. Don't build a wall in front of that.
No.
But
it's already got a moat. It's a man-made moat.
So much stuff was said in that voicemail.
I couldn't keep up with all of it.
She did say congratulations on the Simpsons reference, the sickle thing with the sickle cell anemia logo.
Oh, yes.
Like the Masons.
The stone cutters, yes.
So she was, kudos to you guys, because I didn't do that.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Lori.
And, she was asking when we were going to, because there is a lot of, we have CouchCon coming up in October of 2017.
Yeah.
And we're super excited about it, but there's a lot of little pockets of parties, pre-parties, that are going on. And they seem to happen a lot in California. Big Dick T, Richard, don't call him Dick.
Yep.
Lori Garcia, who is from Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And Conrad.
Yeah.
Who had a rule named after him, a Couch Pilots rule named after him. They met on New Year's Eve was the last meeting they had. They met on New Year's. They rang in the New Year. They were like, 3, 2, 1, Couch Pilots.
Yeah.
So they were asking when we were coming down, and they just, for her to say safe flying, that means a lot to us, because we love our listeners. We would do nothing but be there for our listeners. That's why we do this. But to hear that, it warms your heart.
It does warm my heart. It's better than, because sometimes people say before I get off, hey, break a leg.
Oh, don't say that.
It's like, that's like saying Macbeth in the theater, except reverse. Don't say that to me. Say safe flight, happy trails. You know?
Bon voyage.
Yeah. Don't tell me to break a leg. That doesn't make
Put
sense.
your dick in the dirt. Stuff
yeah,
like that.
Yeah, slap your cock on the dirt.
Right.
Draw a line in the sand with your dong meat. You know what I mean? But she is right. CouchCon is on the horizon. There's a lot of details to work out. I think we said that, was it Wayne Brady is going to officiate the wedding? Right.
And we're still in talks with who we want to have as a band. You know, because like Donald Trump had fucking Lee Greenwood.
Hell yeah. Oh, the
Three
best.
Doors Down.
Love Three Doors Down.
I think they played Kryptonite 4 or 5 times.
You got to if you're 3 doors down.
Exactly.
You open it with it, you close it, and you sprinkle it a couple times in the middle.
Exactly. And then Toby Keith sang some song about America.
Yeah, and I think he was talking about all these solo cups. I love that song.
Love that. Blue Solo Cups.
Bop, 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 bop.
I love the way
Bop,
you get
bop,
me drunk.
bop,
Blue
bop,
Solo Cups.
bop, 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 bop.
How can you...
I don't like to use the word genius a lot.
Well, if you're going to throw out the word genius, you would have to Lee Greenwood. How can one guy become so rich off of one song?
I don't know. He did it. He found a way.
Ka-ching.
He found a way.
High five that shit.
High five it. Nice.
I've got some more, not voicemails, but I've got some other fan feedback. Do you want to go through that real quick?
Yeah. And while you're doing that, I just want to say that if you are interested in participating with CouchCon, you're going to have to contact us directly. The window is open between Christmas and New Year's Eve. It's sold out almost instantly. We have some VIP packages left. You're going to have to contact us directly at couchpilotspodcast@gmail.com or on Facebook or Twitter. Contact us directly through there. That's the only way tickets are still available.
Right. Now, I had an issue a couple weeks ago with my phone, and we lost some fan feedback, which... I didn't back it up on the pachinko machine like I normally do. Mm-hmm. Our cloud was full because we had so much fan feedback.
Right.
But I do have Richard. Don't call him Dick.
Would never call him Dick.
Never call him Dick.
I get that it's short for Richard, but he doesn't want to be called that.
It doesn't even have the same letters in it.
It's Richardless or ridiculous. I mean,
right. So he's like, Lori is Couch Pilot's royalty, and I was like, we love you both. Great to have fans interact. Basically, you guys are part of the cast. Ha, 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 ha. And Lori says, I'm part of the cast? Where's my goddamn money?
Right.
And, what do you...
Frequent flyer points are currency.
Her and Big Dick T, Richard, don't call him Dick,
never
have the most frequent flyer points.
Fleetwood Mac flyer points?
I love Fleetwood. I'm really into Rumors, that Rumors album right now.
Well, honestly, here's a rumor for you. Who's going to be the wedding band at CouchCon for Big Dick T and Lori Garcia?
I don't know if we can do it. I don't know if we can do it.
I'm just saying. Rumors. Who could it be? Fleetwood Mac flyer points.
I would love if it was.
Oh,
sorry.
Great feedback.
It's not over yet. I just wanted to play some Fleetwood Mac Rumors.
I love the chain. Great song.
Well, this is actually secondhand news.
I love that. I've definitely heard of that song, and I like it.
This is my favorite part. Oh, this is not it. It's messing up.
It is messing up. Our cassette is skipping, I think, a little bit.
So here's the thing. Fleetwood Mac, amazing band, right?
Great
Very
band.
famous. Now listen to these lyrics. That's not even words.
It's like he's talking about my life.
Bow, 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 bow. It's not even words.
But I get what he's saying, though.
I digress.
Great
that.
fan feedback.
You know what? If people would donate to the show, we would be able to get a new mixing board because that's what the problem is. Anyway, I apologize. I digress, and when I digress, you know how I get. So she's like, where's my goddamn money? Mm-hmm. And she's like, damn straight, I'm the first lady of Air Force One. And you know what? I can't argue with that.
I don't know that I could either.
Would you want to argue with that?
I wouldn't argue with
if
a woman from Puerto Rico. No.
If Lori Garcia was standing in front of you right now with that cute little nose, the glasses, and the breasts that just make you want to salivate, would you tell her no?
I can't speak to her breasts. I respect a woman. I look her right in the eyes, especially when she's Puerto Ricanian like she is.
Sure.
And they have such spicy tempers. I would never go against anything she wanted. So if that's what she wants, is to be the first lady of couch pilots in the Air Force One, by all means.
You know what? It's done deal.
It's a done deal.
It's official.
It's official.
And my response was, hey, you have more frequent flyer points than Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Jesus being
Jesus.
Jesus de Cristo, our Lord and Savior, Dios mío.
Matt Phillips, he posted on our Couch Pilots, he was on last week's show.
On the Bag Boy episode, absolutely.
And he had a little issue with high-fiving. Basically, all you got to do is like this. 1, 2, 3. He was doing 5s and 3s.
He lost a nail.
Right. But he posted a picture of all the cast of Saved by the Bell high-fiving all at once.
If those punk kids can do it, surely we could do it.
Right. I got one. I've got 2 more. Let's save.
It's not a 2 more.
My God, it's like comedy gold when you're on the mic. All right, we'll do the long one for the next episode.
You're really putting me in my place tonight. I appreciate it.
So Tyler, just to let you know, next week you will hear about yours. But again, Matthew Phillips, he posted another picture, and this is especially for you. He posted a picture of a box with a bird on it.
Yeah.
And it says, "Hello, my friends." But he wrote, "Hello, all my friends."
Nice. Because that's what I say.
Exactly. And he put a bird on it. I mean, have you ever had anything in your life happen bad that had a bird on it?
No, never. I can't think of one thing.
I can't think of one thing. So
now all we need is someone to get some sort of a paper towel tube and say, "You know what to do," tube on it.
Oh, you know what?
What?
1 million frequent flyer points. If anybody does it, take a picture.
You are so willy-nilly with these points. I feel like you think they grow on trees, and you know they don't.
We're Facebook Live, and I'm excited. I'm sure there's fan feedback right now, but I have no idea because I can't see that part of it. I'm just excited about what's going on in life right now, and so
all this fan feedback.
And Tyler, I promise we're going to get to yours next week. It's very in depth, it's a long one.
Okay,
and
I look forward to it.
To have a new person fan feedback us.
Yeah, to Fleetwood Mac us is it means the world to me.
Love it when they Fleetwood Mac us.
All these frequent flyer points, people are like,
to be honest with you,
yeah.
if I hate to go on a tangent with Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
What's the blonde girl's name? Singer.
Lou Diamond Phillips.
No, the white girl.
Oh, the white girl.
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
She's not that good of a singer.
No.
The only reason she sounded like a good singer is because the other blonde lady that looked like a boy, she couldn't sing at all. Oh, Daddy. Stupid. Anyway, let's just carry on.
I want to mention before we do.
Sorry.
No,
sorry.
That's fine.
Sorry.
It's his catchphrase. All these frequent flyer points, all this fan feedback is resulting in something. These people are building points up.
Right.
They're building towards surprise prizes, signed aviator glasses. Some people have cashed them in and sat with us on the plane. And you think, with all this feedback, how do you possibly have time to add it up? And you alluded to it earlier. It all gets funneled into the great 7,000-pound non-electrical machine known as the Pachinko machine that sits right here on Air Force.
One of three.
Only 3 in the world. It calculates everything, all the points, all the feedback. Anytime you tell a friend, anytime you download the episodes, it all adds up to something greater. So we want to take this moment to thank everyone who participated in fan feedback this week and keep adding up those points. Keep adding them up.
It's the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
Communicate, share, do likes.
Rate the show.
Yeah. We can't make it more simple.
No, we've handed it to you on a silver platter.
Right. We're going to fly over your house and drop a bag of frequent flyers on your yard.
That's a step too far. We can't do that.
Right. That's illegal. You can't do that.
But simply take a tube and write, "You know what to do" tube on it and send it to us, and you will get 1 million frequent flyer points. Let us board the plane.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
TV shows. We all watch them. We all love them. We have our favorites. We have our guilty pleasures. But there's one thing for sure, and that's they all had more than just one episode. Enter Couch Pilots. For all those lonely outcast television programs that never made it past. This show is built on
Whenever you mention Outcast, you have to do that.
Which song by Outkast was that? Hey Ya?
Hey Ya.
Okay.
Hey Ya.
The Native American version? The rendition. It's just like Elvis stole from Chuck Berry. So did Andre 3000 steal from the Native Americans.
Exactly.
I think from the Chickasaw.
My baby, she's a Chippewa. Half Cherokee, half Choctaw.
Half Chocha. That's right, ladies. Shave them up. Trim them down. We don't want a mouthful of Brillo. Today we discuss the pilot episode of Diner from the year of our Lord, 1983. Whoop-de-doo, great year.
1983?
The year of our Lord.
Whew. So much happened in 83.
Let's, won't you step with me into a time machine to go back to that year? And here we are, inside the very time machine we mentioned not moments ago. Let's go back in time digitally, if we can, to the year of our Lord. Let's put our minds in that year so we can properly digest all the information concerning the pilot and give it a fair rating based on the time it came out.
You cannot rate these appropriately without putting yourself into the year that was on.
It's not fair.
1983.
Not fair to the pilot.
How old were you in 1983?
Man, you know I was two.
You know what to do, Tube? You were 2.
Yeah.
When did you learn to walk?
When the day this show came out.
Exactly. I was 8.
Yeah. And is that the day you learned to walk?
No, but I did discover myself.
Like you found out
sexually.
I was saying you found out you want to be a podcaster that day.
Right.
No, you're just playing with your cockmeat.
No.
Okay. All right. 1983. No, you got some more on that?
Nope.
Okay. You gonna draw a line in the dirt with it? Is that what you did that day?
Had to stop. I thought, stop,
Drop
then roll.
that dirt, that dick in the dirt.
That's funny.
You got some dirt in your pee hole is what that sounded like. Unemployment rises in the U.S. to 12 million, the highest figure since 1941. 1941, a Great Depression, right? The end of a Great Depression.
In 1941, a lot of people felt down. They felt bad. The economy was crashing.
Planes were crashing.
Cars weren't really that good.
No, shit. Everyone's like, oh, Model T. Fuck the Model T.
Fuck the Model T Ford. Toyota Corolla all the way.
Adam Carolla all the way.
No.
Jimmy Kimmel, I mean.
No.
The Man Show.
Okay.
The U.S. was entering, in 1941, the U.S. was entering, Pearl Harbor had happened, right? And they were entering World War II. No jobs. It was happening again in 83. And there was no planes crashing into Hawaii even.
Hawaii?
Ukalakahehi.
Mekalakahaini is a thing we do to your butt. So in 83, we're basically having a second depression.
Yeah, it was
no
coming
jobs.
on.
No cash. Real estate was down.
Ronald Reagan was just taking office. You know what? He says, time to trickle on down. That's what he says. Right?
That's how I got my first wife pregnant.
To trickle down? So you had, this is what I'm going to surmise. It's about to get real dirty. You had some anal sex with her. You're released inside. She's laying on her stomach. It trickled down into her vagina. You got her pregnant. Trickle down sexonomics. Is that right? You're the Ronald Reagan of our time.
I thought to myself,
You're the sexual Ronald Reagan. That'll be your porn name. Ronald Reagan. Just straight Ronald Reagan. Hey, you have a Ronald Reagan impression?
well, it happened to go down from her butthole to her vagina.
Pretend I'm...
Have your kids Spader and Hooch.
as he was off to say. Pretend I'm Nikolai Volkov and tell me to tear down this wall.
Well, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall.
Love it.
Turn down for what? I'm on fire. I think it has something to do with the Facebook Live.
I think it has something to do with the fire water,
For
you
the
Native American.
For the 2 people that are watching.
The Chippewa. The world's population is estimated at 4.72 billion.
Jeez!
China's population reaches 1 billion. For every 5 people on this planet, you got 1 Chinaman. That's a lot.
Is that when they made the rule that they had to kill their baby if you had more than one?
You had to cut it off like Lot.
King off the penis?
Yeah. Well, no, you had to cut the baby in half.
Oh.
And then that's how you found out who the real mother was. One would say
That's some math I can't. That's that new math they have. What's it called?
It's simply new math.
New math. It is so hard.
It is hard. It's in the Bible too.
If you take a baby, cut it into thirds, how many halves do you have?
What time will they arrive in Pittsburgh on the train?
Exactly.
We're almost at 7 billion people today. And we're talking, this is like...
I only like 3 of them.
3 billion?
No, just 3.
Holy smokes. The odds are against you. You're in a living hell, I would say. Surrounded by billions upon billions of people you dislike. I have a feeling I'm not one of the 3.
Oh, stop yourself.
All right.
You're one of them.
Before I wreck myself?
Chickadee check yourself before you riggedy wreck yourself. Okay.
7 billion people is bad for your health.
Thank you to keep that going.
You're welcome.
Come on.
These raps are built on the backs of our songs. I'm not sure what that means. 7 billion people today in 2017. Just 24 years ago, only 4.7. We've been doing a lot of ass trickling down economics.
There's been a lot of ass. Thanks a lot, Ronald Reagan.
Thanks, Reagan.
Hopefully Trump will kill all these babies.
1983, the first Marble Comics. The first mobile phones are introduced to the public by the Motorola company. These are I don't even think these are the Saved by the Bell brick phones. These are like in your car phones, right?
Like in the bag that was in the bag.
Yeah.
The bag of phone. My stepdad had a bag of phone.
Well, yeah. How did it
couldn't
work?
use it because it was like $3 a minute.
Incredible.
And who am I going to call? Because nobody else had one.
There's no use,
It was for emergencies.
Yeah, and that you paid an arm and a leg for an emergency.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. That's it. I'm in 1983. My head is swimming in the trickle-down sexonomic years.
I have never been more in 1983 than I am right now.
Wow, perfect. Why did we choose to watch the show Diner?
Okay, 3 simple criteria when we choose a show. And by the way, thanks for waiting 26 minutes before you heard the name of the pilot we were watching.
You're welcome.
Because sometimes we should probably say it at the beginning and then banter.
I don't think so.
Okay.
You know, it's the name of our episode is the name of the show. They see it.
Good answer.
Ding, ding, ding. Survey says.
Okay, 3 criteria. A, it had to be a one and done. One show was made, it never went to series. Whether it was sold, unsold, whether it was aired or not aired, that is not of our concern. 1.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Just like the Metallica song.
One.
One pilot was made.
Metallica is one.
Wow. By the way, Metallica, I listened to one the other day. Why did you make the intro 3 minutes long? Unnecessary. Very unnecessary. You had me at hello. Second criteria, we had to find it. We can't talk about something. We can't rate something. We can't do anything if we can't see it. So thank you.
What do you think we're magic? Huh? We can't perform magic. We have to find it, like a layperson.
A what?
Layperson?
I don't understand.
It's like labia. It's like a term for labia.
Oh, labia. That's that thing on the bumps on that Star Trek guy's forehead.
Worf.
Yeah.
Oh, the forehead labia he had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the third and final pillar of Couch Pilots, what we're based upon, what our structure is built by, is it has to be free. We don't charge for our podcast.
No.
We're one of only like 3 podcasts left that don't charge.
It is happening, isn't it? We are in the middle of monetizing podcasts right
We're
now.
not monetizing nothing.
The golden days of podcasting are tapering off right now.
Yeah.
But we're hanging on. We're fighting the good fight in these friendly skies, aren't we?
We're fighting like Trojans. That was totally horrible. But that it has to be free. Those are the 3 pillars.
That's it. It's that simple, and you lay them out so wonderfully, so perfectly.
Muchos gracias.
Que bueno. Where can you find
Penafuco. Joey Penafuco.
Hey, I'm Italian over here. I like pizzas.
Hey, you smell like garbage.
It's a little callback to an episode of IBWIP only on the FCF network. Where can you find the entire episode of Diner? Where you can find the show by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast of app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to YouTube, and you'll know what to do. Tube.
You got it, man. I'm glad you did it. You know what? I used to hate it, but now I love it.
I feel like you still hate it, and you're being weird about it.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Summary of the pilot. This pilot, for the TV version of the critically acclaimed feature Diner from 1982, focused on the complaints of the wives, Elyse and Beth, that their husbands were spending too much time hanging at the diner with their friends.
That's pretty much summarizes the summary in which we summarize.
Fair to Midland summary.
You know, if a lot of times when you say a summary,
Right.
in my head I'm like, does that summarize what we watched?
That really is the filter we have to run it through, right?
Right. And I'm like, Well, that's part. This one is like part of the summary of what we watched.
Because what are we really looking for when it comes?
Summary.
Yeah, we want
summarize what is in the 30 minutes of TV.
Exactly.
Don't get too wordy. Here, it's kind of like you get a good-looking woman in bed, right?
I've never done that.
Okay. Well, if you ever get a good woman in bed, you don't want to do too good of a job.
All right.
But you don't want to do too bad of a job. You want to do right in the middle, and that's what we want for the summary.
Why don't you want to be too good? I feel like
because then every time you're going to have to do good.
You're talking about like setting the bar.
Right. Okay, setting at the bar. You meet a good-looking woman when you're sitting at the bar.
You're right.
Yeah, don't give her a shot of Patron right off the bat.
You want the bar stuff, right?
You order the well.
The well. That's what I meant. Yeah. Man, you're so smart.
High five that.
I like you taking the charge in these high fives today. This is good.
I'm in a good mood.
Interesting facts.
You know what? I see the horizon. The sun's going down. We're flying. At least 30 people are going to listen to this. I'm in a great mood.
Interesting facts. The part of the show where we dig deeper than you would, you lazy asshole. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, honestly, you probably are lazy, but the truth of the matter is I stay up an extra 15 minutes, and I Google. And I put quote. Oh yeah,
your knuckles are usually bloody when you come over.
Right, they're scabbed up and then leaking. I often ruin your equipment because of it. You're very kind.
No, you just break headphones. It was an accident.
Do you think I'm purposefully doing it? I can't wait to get over that guy's plane. Start fucking up his equipment.
Those $15 headphones from Big Lots, I'm gonna break them motherfuckers.
Interesting Facts is where we tell you things you wouldn't know by watching the pilot solely. And we dig in and we present these facts to you. And we expect you to sit there. Like, sit on your hands, Sit on your hands, I would say. Maybe
until one goes numb?
Right. And then you can jerk off with it if you want. It's known as The Stranger, I believe. I'm getting a lot of yeses. The interesting facts, they are what they are. They're set in stone. Don't comment on them. The Conrad rule is in effect. Do not comment on them because you can't change the facts. They are what they are. You need to accept them for what they are and think whatever you want about them. But please don't say it out loud. Don't tamper other people's experiences with them.
Conrad has done it a million times. He's even posted on our Facebook, our Twitter. Mm-hmm. He's like, you know what? That fact, it was interesting. And I don't know how many times I look at my dog. I've had my dog for 9 years.
Yes.
I read that. She's laying next to me sleeping. Bam! I mean, that's how mad it makes me.
I mean, just
punch
like
my dog.
Just like DSJ is helping the Led Zeppelin tribute band get the lead out, you have to get the frustration out when something like that happens. I don't blame you.
I'm not going to hit my wife.
Yeah.
She'll hit back.
Yeah. That's exactly right.
That dog ain't going to hit me back.
Interesting facts. The film inspired a 1983 CBS television pilot written and directed by Barry Levinson, who does not respond on Twitter.
Thanks a lot, Barry.
Mike Binder starred as Eddie. Paul Reiser returned as Modell. Michael Madsen took over as Boogie. And James Spader was Fenwick. Accurate. Fact.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a fact that I have all their names written back here.
So many facts. That's right. The television pilot that attempted to pick up right where the movie left off in Baltimore in the very beginning of 1960. So,
the 60s.
Oh, great time. Greatest generation, right?
Right.
Perfect.
Free love, having smoking weed, having sex, listening to Rolling Stones.
Mm-hmm. Reading Rolling Stones.
Their magazine.
Great magazine. How do those guys have time to tour, create albums, and write that entire magazine every week?
Gift from God.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Thank you.
The pilot made its rounds on the Trio network as part of their brilliant but canceled series.
We've seen a lot of pilots that have been on that.
We've dipped in there. I think I'm just going to cut it off right here. Interesting facts over.
Cut it off.
Brilliant but canceled series. Great series.
Great series.
I wish there was a time, like a Venn diagram, where Couch Pilots existed and Trio existed, and we could have eclipsed each other a little bit.
Oh, we would have been a mogul.
Absolutely. We would have worked in tandem with them. Think of all the frequent flyer points we'd have to delegate.
Are you jumping out of the plane with a parachute right now? You're seriously going to do that?
Yeah, stowaway.
All right, we'll be safe. We love you. We've thought a lot about you. Ka-chow. Thanks, buddy. Thank you. I know you weren't saying thank you to me, but I'm going to mention it. Hey.
And we love you, Stowaway, right
Bye.
here on the FCF Network. Holy God. That doesn't look like a parachute.
Why does it have a hole in the middle? He's going really fast. Okay, anyway, sorry.
No, that's all right.
I broke the fourth wall there.
That's fine. Twitter, no one responded. Some of these guys are dead. The guy who played
Paul Reiser's dead?
Paul Reiser, James Spader, Michael Madsen, they were all in a car accident. Dead.
I'm gonna die in a car crash.
No, you know that nerdy dude who had the wife Beth?
Yeah.
He's dead.
Really?
Yeah, I could talk more about that.
R.I.P. Dead guy.
Actually, let's talk about that right now.
Okay.
He, I want to say he was a writer, and he was like trying to write about the heroin scene in New York, and he like
Heroin, like putting your needle in your vein.
yeah.
Okay.
And then he got really into it, like overdose, and died from it.
Really?
Yeah.
Way to go, dumbass.
Yeah, he was a good-looking young Jewish fella. I think he could have done some stuff, but instead he did not, and he died.
Wow. I didn't know Jews did heroin.
Love it. They love it, but they know moderation. That's how they get away with it. Yeah, so nothing in Twitter, which is okay. We can't knock it out of the park every time when it comes to Twitter.
No, but you know what?
What?
I would just a little prelude. Next episode, out of the park, Twitter.
We should prelude to a back-to-back kiss. Ready?
Love you, buddy.
Love you too. But you know what? Not as much as I love the Low Blow podcast.
Are you sick of spoiled white people and Donald Trump bringing you the news you could care less about?
Are you sick of trolling the interwebs for penis-related news only to end up flaccid?
Do you lust for Florida only the way a mother lover can?
Then look no further than Fakakta Comedy Funhouse's Low Blow Podcast with Adam Z and Dave Rowan.
Streaming live every week at lowblowpodcast.net and available for download Thursdays at fcfnetwork.com.
Appropriately inappropriate.
Oh, I miss Dave and Adam Z.
I do, but you know what helps? Is listening to the Low Blow podcast.
Yes.
I'd like to say every Thursday it comes out. Not always the case, but it's pretty regular. They're one of our most reliable shows we have on the network when it comes to consistency. And if you miss Dave and if you miss Adam, check out their old episodes. They're free, just like all the shows on the FCF network.
To me, it's one of the best buys you can possibly get. Every show on the FCF network is free.
Yeah.
We're in the red right now. We're bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We will not succumb to failure. We will give our listeners free podcasts.
That's absolutely right. We're not going to go down that money, that golden road that so many people have
Yep.
stars in their eyes and dollar signs in their head. Not us.
Yeah.
We're here for the art.
I'll pay for my Spotify if I have to.
Not me.
You won't?
No.
Want the password?
Pandora, no.
Pandora? What are you talking about?
Excuse me.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Let's break down the pilot of this show, beginning at, actually, I watched this in 3 parts on You Know What to Do Tube.
Right.
Each part began with a blue screen that said, like, Diner, like James Spader, and like someone was like, I love James Spader.
Right. It was a complete James Spader spank off. I mean, this person was paying homage. Because you could have just put it on there. You didn't have to make a title screen.
No, and it was just kind of a crappy title screen anyway. But it was definitely saying, "Hey, I love you, James Spader." And the name of I don't remember the name of the person whose account it was that posted this pilot, but the picture they had was of current day James Spader.
Maybe it's Jay Spader.
Do you think it's James Spader himself that posted this?
I would think he would have done a little bit better on the title screens.
Definitely he can farm out and afford that for sure. But
Amen.
Amen to you, old friend. So we have that screen pop up, and then it's outside of a diner, Fells Point Diner to be exact, in Baltimore, Maryland.
1960.
Great year. Outside, you had mentioned before we started some of this you didn't understand, and I'm there with you. There's a lot of conversation in this.
Right. I've never seen the movie, and you said in Interesting Facts that this picks up right where the movie ends.
Yeah.
I never saw the movie. I didn't think it was appropriate to watch the movie because I'm talking about a pilot. I should be judging the pilot, not the movie.
Yeah, it's not necessary. I don't.
Yeah,
think.
we're not movie pilots.
No, that's stupid. Who would do that show?
Right. And so instantly they say people are started talking, and they're these 4 guys. There's 3 guys off the bat.
Yeah, they start outside the diner. I think it's Michael Madsen and Spader talking about gambling.
Right.
And throughout the show, Michael Madsen, and I think his name was Boogie, he's into gambling.
Yeah.
Like if you get him one-on-one, that's all he's talking about.
Right.
Is trying to make a little extra scratch. So they go inside, and there's a couple guys sitting at the booth, and you have Paul Reiser, James Spader,
Very young Paul Reiser.
Oh, very handsome.
Very handsome. And James Spader, to be honest with you, handsome. More handsome then than he is now.
Some guys age gracefully, and I think he is aging
me?
gracefully, just like you.
Okay.
You're like a fine wine. I say that to people all the time. High five that. James Spader, I don't think he's getting a lot of work done, but he's not keeping it together either.
Right.
So
it's a slow fall.
Yeah, it's fun. They're talking about
girls and how girls can't say guys are hot,
or they don't understand.
Yeah,
when a girl says a guy is sexy, what they're talking about.
And this you will find in this pilot, there is a lot of that. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of conversation. It's really fast. It's shot like a movie. In my opinion, it might have been the quality of but it was shot like a movie.
I agree.
I think they tried to stay true to probably how it looked in the movie, but it didn't look like a sitcom at all.
And it was the length of a sitcom, which it was a half hour, but there was no laugh track, thank God. And it wasn't really. I mean, it was funny in some ways because they wanted their conversations to be comical, and in some ways they were. But it wasn't like a drama. There wasn't something heavy. This was just a slice of life. That's what this show is. This is a show in the early 80s that says, hey, let's go back, have a period piece in the 60s, and it's a slice of life.
Right.
It's guys working and living. And
you're just a fly on the wall.
Absolutely. But in that way, I agree. It was shot like a movie.
My favorite part was they could smoke in the diner.
That's one of my next notes here is they're smoking in the diner.
Oh.
And you'll see that throughout the show.
Smoking in the diner. Smoking in the diner. Well, people order up a omelet and steak. And baby, light me a cigarette. Don't be late.
Boom, 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 boom.
Didn't think about it. Sorry.
That's okay. You don't have to rhyme to be a great poet or a great songwriter.
You're sweet.
So what does make a sexy guy? I don't know. I'm secure enough in my manhood. Not only have I kissed some men in my day, not sexually at all.
You kissed me before.
I've kissed you before.
I loved it.
Sure.
8th anniversary party. I'll never forget it.
Oh, yeah.
God, you calmed me down.
That's what it took. I'll do what it takes to calm a man down, no matter what.
Amen.
But I can understand if a guy is attractive. I can say, oh, I get it. I get that. Yes, I understand that guy is a sexy man. Can you say that about a man?
Yeah. I oftentimes go, that guy's pretty sexy. And Molly goes, oh, why are you saying that? Mm-hmm. And it's because I'm comfortable with my sexuality.
Right.
I can appreciate Dave Rowan, Lobo Podcast, gorgeous guy.
Yeah. If you had to rate him 1 out of 10.
Oh, what would I rate him?
Yeah.
A 6 until I get my 7.
So it's a spite rating.
A spite. Just like Spite 6.
They're smoking in the diner, which is delightful. I know you and I can both appreciate a time where people were allowed to smoke in places and show it on TV.
I was watching a TV show the other night. It's called All of Us or something like that. It's the biggest craze on TV, network TV.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
With the black
Mandy Moore was in it.
Okay. But the guy, there's 2 guys standing in front of the window in front of the nursery in the hospital, light up a cigarette. I was like, I can't even imagine there was probably a time when I was born in '75, which is you could probably smoke in the.
That would explain a lot,
right? What do you mean by that?
I'm just saying that smoke can affect people's developmental
and because I can't say pencils.
Like what? However you want to read into that.
Okay, potato. Let's just move along.
But yeah, if someone was smoking today in a nursery, they'd probably
smoking in the nursery. I tell you, I was smoking in the nursery. Well, baby, sucking on the big old thumb. Nurses changing their diapers, but I'm smoking cigarettes.
Michael Madsen, Boogie, looks through the blinds at the diner and sees a guy outside. And I don't know. They're calling him Grip. They're calling him Grift.
Gripper. He's a gripper. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck a gripper is. And we're going to talk about it later on in the show. Mm-hmm. But he's like, yeah. They look outside. It's like, oh, there's the gripper. It's
just a dude, like just lurking in the parking lot. And at this point, I was thinking too, like they were just talking about gambling. The guy outside looks menacing. Is he a bookie? Is he someone that was trying to get
That's
money?
That's exactly what I thought it was.
He's like, I'm going to wait till those assholes come out of this place, and then I'm going to knock some of their teeth out to get the money they owe me. That's what I thought that guy was about. Not necessarily the case. We'll find out. And then they're in there talking about one of their buddies, Eddie.
Eddie.
Hey, Eddie.
That's the first name I learned.
Me too.
And that's a big part of when I watch pilots. I try to learn everybody's name. That was the first one.
You're great at it.
Eddie was on his honeymoon. They just got back today. He went to Costa Rica, if I'm not mistaken.
I think Cuba.
Cuba?
I think they went to Cuba.
Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah. They merged countries at one point.
And they're talking about, hey, is Eddie going to make it tonight? Oh yeah, he'll make it. By the time they get off the plane, they get home, they get unpacked, they have the newlywed talk with their parents. Yeah, he'll be here. He'll be here.
What's the newlywed talk with your parents? What is that?
Well,
do you have to talk about the sex you had?
No. In the 60s, Eddie's going to law school. Gets married to this broad.
Yeah.
Because that's what they called him back then.
Yeah, I love it.
I would never disrespect women like that. But
I would.
Oh, okay. It wasn't uncommon for them to live at home with the parents. He's going to law school. They just got married. They don't have the money to buy a house.
But what's the talk, though?
These are the rules. These are the rules.
You're bad. So it has to be about sex. Not like just keeping the closet.
All about that sex. About that sex. About that sex. Next door to your parents, all about that sex. About that sex. About that sex. Next to your parents.
So he comes in, and they're worried, though, because they're like, maybe we won't see him anymore because now that he's married, that she might keep him on a short leash. But in waltzes Eddie, and they're so happy to see him. And then one of the guys says, you know what? If my wife told me not to come down here, I wouldn't. I obey my wife because I don't want any trouble. Happy wife, happy life. Remember that?
Is that? I thought that he was saying that he would do whatever he wanted to do, and he's told her that.
Oh, maybe I misunderstood.
The Jewish guy with the heroin?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's telling her, hey, he's saying to the guys, my wife, I'm always going to come here. I'm going to come here forever. And she's going to tell me what to do.
Maybe a testament to the poor audio quality. I don't know.
Sorry, but
I missed that.
Yeah, definitely. He was saying, I'm going to show up.
He comes in, and they're happy to see Eddie. He's back from Cuba in this honeymoon. And then immediately, Paul Reiser says, hey, thank you so much for this postcard. I'm seeing this hotel. Is this the one you stayed at? He says, yes. There's no screens on the windows there.
And that's when you can tell that Paul Reiser plays the neurotic guy of the bunch.
Sure.
He is the neurotic guy of the bunch. He is Modell. Mm-hmm. And he is definitely the neurotic of the bunch. And he goes through this big, long monologue about, how can you stay at a place that doesn't have screens on the windows? What about bugs and germs and all that stuff?
He's like, there's no screens. Nothing gets in. He's like, how can nothing get in? I don't get it. And they have this kind of trivial argument that just goes on. I mean, it goes on too long, common sense-wise or normal people, but it's for comedic effect. Sure. It's kind of funny. It's all right. I get it.
Paul's doing good.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Eddie's like, I'm glad you're all here. By the way, this is my last night here. My wife and I have decided that I'm too old to be coming to the diner. Mm-hmm. And they're all like, what are you talking about, Eddie?
Hey, yo, hey.
And he's like, well, we just kind of talked about it, and we both came to the conclusion that it's probably better that I don't come here, that I need to grow up. I'm going to law school.
And you can tell it's not his decision at all.
Not at all. I've been married 3 times. I know that is not his decision. Mm-hmm.
He's bummed out for sure, but he wants to keep his wife happy. He's got to focus on law school. He wants to get a career going.
Right, and so they all toast to Eddie.
To Eddie.
Let's do it.
High five to Eddie is what I say. Commercial break. After that, they come back and they said, you know what, we got to focus on throwing Eddie a going away party. It's like, where are we going to have the party? It's like at the diner, dummy. Where do you think we're going to have it? Their whole life revolves around the diner. There are maybe 3 sets in this, and 90% of the action is happening in the diner.
Okay, here's my question to you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you, that's a big commitment. To me, watching the first scene, no, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Marriage is bliss. It seems as though these guys are very dedicated to meeting, and it seems as though this happens more than a couple times a week. Every night. It's the way they talk. It's like every night. But we know that can't be true, right?
Well, maybe I misunderstood something they said, but I want to say that one of the guys was like, "Hey, on the weekends I do what my wife wants," but it almost made it sound like most, if not all, of the weekdays.
It sounded like
I am
every night they were there
diner
until 2 a.m. I
don't know how they do it.
I'm not doing that. You're single and you don't do that.
Yeah, you won't find me at a diner. Next scene, you got 2 broads. Elyse, and then I didn't pick up the other one's name till later, but it was Beth. And Elyse is married to the guy who just came back.
I hear you calling.
The show is built,
but I can't come home right now. I'm at the diner with the boys, and we just can't decide how to split up the bill. Just a few more. I'm sorry. Sometimes I go on a tangent. I apologize.
Doesn't Suzanne Vega have a song about diner?
I don't know who Suzanne Vega is.
Tom's Diner.
I know the beat. We went to the diner and we saw 4 guys smoking. Yeah. Nice.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
So Elyse is married
God,
to
I didn't
Eddie.
want to do that.
Elyse is married to Eddie. He's the guy who just got back. They're the ones who got back from the honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
And Beth is married to... Now, what is this guy's name?
The guy's name is Shariv?
Okay.
Shariv.
That's what the Clash would say, right? Shariva.
Shari likes his records.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rock the Casbah. They're in there at their house, and they're talking about records and sports. And they're like, I don't understand why he likes all his records. I don't understand sports.
Well, and for me, it was like, I know it was the 1960s and everything. And the wife, she's like, oh, don't hold that record with your thumbs. Hold it on the side. Mm-hmm. He gets real mad. And I was like, what is she about to say? Is she just about to say that he beats her because she doesn't hold the records right? Like, that was weird.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
But in the 60s, you could hit your wife.
You were expected to.
Yeah, and she kept her mouth shut, and that's how we became the powerhouse that we are today.
That's right. This nation is built on the back of domestic violence.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And one shot in this scene, too,
You only got one shot? Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
Love Hamilton.
Love
Hamilton. So they're... in the scene, there's a shot on one of the girls, and the whole shot is like clouded by more smoking. I don't know if you noticed this. There's more smoking than they're doing at home.
Both of the ladies are smoking in the house. They're playing records, and they're talking about baseball averages and not understanding their husbands. And then Beth says, "You know what? You told Eddie he couldn't go to the diner anymore. Maybe I could tell my husband. I'm going to bring it up tonight."
And later that night, she did at the same house. You have Elyse.
They're at the dinner table.
Yep. And Eddie comes in. I don't know if he just got back from the diner or back from school or work or whatever it was, but he's in there, and there's an old lady in there. It turns out to be his mom. Like you said with his honeymoon talk, he's living apparently at home.
Right.
And his wife is there, and they're all kind of preparing dinner.
Right. And the wife and the mom are preparing dinner. Eddie comes in and is like, hey, my wife is... And my mom's making the dinner.
Hey, fix me a bologna sandwich over here.
Fix me a bologna sandwich, Mom. And then the wife's like, hey, we're married now. You don't need a bologna sandwich. We're getting ready to eat in 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. And the mom's like, and I've had this happen before. All right. Little tension between wife and mom.
Oh, yeah.
And the mom's like, he always has a bologna sandwich. That's how he gets his appetite going.
Yeah.
And she's like, he doesn't need a bologna sandwich. We're going to eat in a half hour. And you know what? And he gets that look, and Eddie's like, you know what, Mom? You're right. Hey, she's right. Hey, she's my wife. We just got met. My wife. They just got married. Hey, I got to listen. You know what, honey? From now on, you can make my bologna sandwiches. Mom, show her how to make my bologna sandwich.
Eddie really does control the situation.
Oh, yeah.
He's a young guy, and he comes in, and he really just says, this is what's happening. You're going to accept this. You're going to do this.
Yes.
And I'm going to have a fucking sandwich.
Yes, and I loved this scene. I know that it's against everything that we stand for.
These are the good old days, my friend.
But you know what? I don't know what the good old days are like. Except on television.
Get a little taste.
But I got a little taste of it.
What it tastes like, bologna?
Yeah, definitely bologna.
An amalgamation of several meats. That's what it's tasted like. The other couple.
Beth.
And
Chivalry.
The Clash. They're having a conversation about the diner, right? She's saying, "Hey,
Eddie's wife. Eddie's not going anymore. So maybe you could stop going." And she was timid enough to you expected her to get punched in the face.
He was calm and cool, but then as soon as she's like, "You can't do this thing you love so much more than anything, even me," then he cranks it up.
He's like, Beep you beep and beep.
Whoa, buddy.
Pretty close.
Pretty damn close.
He's like, hey, I don't want you to talk like that no more. You don't talk anymore at this dinner table.
I will mention, too, this is Baltimore and not Brooklyn. While I do appreciate the accent, I just don't want to give our listeners false hope that they're going to turn into a heavily accented TV show. But I do appreciate it.
Thanks.
And he's like, you know what? I'm not listening to you. I'm going to keep going to the diner. He's like, well, how about I go to the diner sometimes?
Girls don't come to the diner.
Only the waitresses are
Hey,
in the diner.
It's a big gay fest.
Boy. So they go back to the diner, and you got the four fellas there.
And here's where it comes in again. The gripper's outside. Mm-hmm. So they go outside, and for some reason, Spader, who is Fenwick.
But they call him Fen, you're right?
Right. I thought it was Ben. I wrote Ben for the longest time.
Yeah.
But Fenwick is, for some reason, there's this weird interaction between Fenwick and the gripper.
I don't get this.
And the gripper's like, "Hey, give me, shake my hand." He's like, "No, you're the gripper." I don't understand it all.
I think they are meeting almost nightly at this diner. It is dark out. When they go outside, he emerges from the shadow. He is outside again, lurking. And yeah, he wants to shake his hand. And he's like, I know what you're up to. Right. I'm not interested. I'm going to rip this antenna off the car and beat the hell out of you with it if you try to come near me.
Yeah, he just snapped the antenna off like it was a pixie stick. He's like, no, come on. We're friends here. He's like, trust me.
And he keeps saying, hey, no grip.
Yeah.
No grip.
What the fuck is a gripper?
Shake my hand.
What is a gripper?
I think it's like someone on the set of a movie or something, right? They have the best boy and you got the gripper, right? But I don't know what they do.
Again, I didn't see the movie Diner. Mm-hmm. They had to have had something to do with it. It doesn't seem to be gambling debts because Fen would be the last person. It would be the other guy that likes to gamble, Boogie or whatever his name is. Mm-hmm. So it's not a gambling thing. What is it? This is what bothered me most about this is turbulence. I'm pre-turbulencing right now.
Like pre-cum?
Yes.
But pre-turb?
It makes me so
It really perturbed you?
And it was a long scene.
Is that where the word pre-turbed came from?
Yes.
Is pre-turbulence?
Yes.
To me, without seeing Diner, you have a man outside who's kind of a bully. All he's doing is grabbing people when he sees them. That is his function. I don't know what he gets out of it. He's out there to intimidate people, to get his name out as a guy who's an asshole and who's got incredible grip. And I always say, too, if you want to be a superhero, what you need more than anything is grip. How often are they holding on to people or things?
I put my hand up on your grip, and you grip, we grip, and I get yours and I get mine.
Great song.
Thanks.
So I don't understand what's happening.
Gripper.
He shakes his hand.
Yeah.
He does shake his hand, and he does not give him a grip.
No.
But then as soon as he walks away, he grabs his arm, grips the shit out of it. He says, stand on your tiptoes or something.
Right.
What the fuck is this guy's problem?
His three buddies, who he spends every night at the diner with, just sit there and watch and laugh.
They love it.
I don't know what the gripper is. What is the point?
I don't know either. They all seem pretty amused by it. If you had that many guys there, I'd just kick the shit out of the gripper.
I would grip the hell out of that gripper.
You know what I would do? I'd kick him in his legs till he fell over. And then when he's on the ground, I'd stomp on his goddamn hands. All of his grip power would be gone. That's a high five it. And they're standing over there too. And this is when I say, this show is Seinfeld. That's what I say. They're over there and they're like, good grip. He's got some good grip. He's got some good grip there. Pretty good grip. They repeat a bunch of shit, just like they would in Seinfeld. Or maybe that's just a Jewish trope in general. But to me, this kind of cements, this is pre-Seinfeld. These are guys just sitting around talking about shit. Mm-hmm. And in a diner, like Seinfeld was always in whatever diner that was called, Morty's or whatever. But it was that. It was pre-Seinfeld, like 1960s Seinfeld.
So then it goes to the next scene, and that Paul Reiser, who is Modell, he's talking to Boogie, and I didn't understand this either. Boogie is a hairdresser? Am I mistaken in that? Boogie is a hairdresser because he's uncurling some hot rollers from a mannequin. But they're discussing what kind of cake to get Eddie for his party. It's a very long, drawn-out conversation, and the only thing I can say is Boogie is a gambling hairdresser. And in the 1960s, a guy hairdresser, please. Am I looking too much into it?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. And he was a babyface Michael Madsen. Now you look at it, and it looks like he spent 35 years in a dust storm.
No, but he was a good-looking guy back then.
Oh, yeah. Smooth as silk.
He's a gangster guy. Like, that's typecast, right?
I would say so. Oh, I would say
hardcore.
So. Yeah. Did you ever see Reservoir Dogs?
No, I never.
He's insane in that. He's a crazy guy. That confused me. I didn't see him taking the curlers out. I must have missed that. But I was like, why are these dudes in a salon? But if he's taking the curlers out, there you
go. So then they cut to that night. Shivery and his wife were talking. She's going out. Mm-hmm. He's going to the diner for Eddie's party. She's going to see the Van Dykes, and he's like, "Oh, I love the Van Dykes."
Yeah.
Then cut to the diner.
Well, let's read into that scene a little bit. He's getting ready to go to the goodbye party for Eddie, right? And then she's getting dressed too. Like, well, where are you going? And she says the Van Dykes, of course. But it almost seems like he
wants to go see the Van Dykes play.
He wants to do that, but he's also kind of jealous that his wife's going out maybe. And it was like, but dude, you go out like almost every night of the week.
But a wife stays at home, and she does the dishes. She cooks. She does the laundry.
What about the ironing? Who does that?
Ooh, ironing is tough. Is she? In this case, she's not Asian.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's just the Asian coalition just texted me. My bad. Anyways, hit me again.
My bad.
So cut to the. Oh, you want to talk about a little bit more?
No. I was just. You're right. They're cutting to the party, and it's really rocking and rolling. The guys are coyote uglying it up on top of the counter.
Yeah, there's like 50 guys that are in this diner, and there's a bunch of them dancing on top. Like the
Rockettes almost.
Yeah, and there's one old lady who is the waitress, and it's just a bunch of fucking dudes.
Yeah. Everyone who's there must be a regular. That diner must be powered solely by men and regulars. It's like, this is a dude hangout. You have to be a dude to be here.
Yeah, they're having a good time. They're partying, and for some reason the camera looks out. Who's outside in the parking lot?
The Gripper.
The fucking Gripper. Who is the goddamn Gripper?
I don't know. There is a shot while they're dancing on top where Spader is like taking a hit off a flask. And I see Spader and I'm thinking, I feel like it's bittersweet for Spader. Like he's like, this is the end of an era for my buddy. You know, like because everyone else is having a great time, but he's there kind of solemn, getting a little drunk.
Solemn and Gomorrah.
That's right. Absolutely right. Great parable.
Thank you.
Gripper's looking outside again for who knows what reason. Why is he out there just holding on to people's arms? I don't know. We don't have the answers to these questions.
The owner of the diner was like, "Everybody get down," and he seemed like he had a Russian accent.
I had foreign manager stops counter dancing.
Yeah, he had a Russian accent. You think about it, like they get down, and they're like they're all getting together. They present the cake, blah blah blah.
Yep. Everyone seems to be wearing yellow pins on their shirt. I think it says "Goodbye, Eddie." Maybe
right, and. They come up with it that it has been 8 years that they've been going to this diner.
Yeah. What?
Jason.
Yeah.
You have a lot of friends. Right? You have a lot of guy bros.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Some close friends, right?
Yeah.
I'm probably on the outskirts of that circle, but you have some close friends.
Yeah.
Could you spend 8 years, 5 nights a week at a diner with me for 3 hours?
No,
Nope.
that seems like a lot.
Nope.
And there is a point where Paul Reiser and Eddie are sitting there talking about how many hours they've invested, and it turns out to be quite a bit. I don't remember the exact number, but you're right. It does seem like a lot of time.
For he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny. Nice. Put it on the board. Yes.
Nice.
Eddie, the party's over. They're all going outside.
I think Eddie is getting sentimental. It's catching up with him.
When they're singing that to him and he's looking at that cake, something happens.
And you know what? It's trickery. This is an M. Night Shyamalan move here, right?
Shama-lama-lama ding-dong.
That's right. Just like they used to say. And you're like, oh, he's getting sentimental. This is his last night at the diner. He's really going to miss these guys. Look what they did for him. It's all for him.
I'd miss you.
Oh, I'd miss you too if that was the case. And he's getting sentimental, and that's what you think. It's because he's leaving. That's not why. I don't think that's why he was sad. He was maybe touched by the situation, but we find out outside as they're leaving that his wife said, "You can come back here whenever you want."
Nope, difference of opinion, buddy.
No, okay.
They're singing to him. He's looking at that cake, and he's like, "I can't leave this. I don't want to leave this. This means too much to me. I'll do whatever it takes to stay being able to come to the diner." They walk out of the diner toward the girl saying, "Hey, it was a great time." He's like, "You know what, guys? I got something to say. My wife said it was okay." He's lying out his teeth. He changed it because he couldn't walk away from that party. He couldn't walk away from the camaraderie. He absorbed that cake. He absorbed them singing to him, and he's like, you know what? I'm the man of the fucking house.
Yeah.
I love these guys. Mm-hmm. This diner's important to me.
I love bologna sandwiches.
I love bologna sandwiches. He comes out at the end of it, and they're like, hey, buddy. He's like, you know what? My wife said it was okay. No fucking way that happened. I have never had a wife. I've had 3 of them. Not one wife has ever changed her mind.
So you think that his wife had the same... She was like, no, you're not going back. At the end of the party, he was like, you know what? At the end of the night, I'm going to go home, and I'm going to lay down the law on this woman.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay. That's not what I got from it, but hey, you read into something a little different. I can respect that. What I'd love to know is how you read into some of this turbulence.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Critically acclaimed movie, Diner, 19 year of our Lord, 82.
There was no original cast, right, that was in this?
I think a lot of it was original.
Oh.
Let's go back to the interesting facts here for just a second.
I'm sorry.
It says Mike Binder starred as Eddie. Paul Reiser returned as Modell. Michael Madsen took over as Boogie. And James Spader was Fenwick. So maybe just Paul Reiser, but there were some ties. I know definitely Paul Reiser was there. To pick up right where it left off, seemingly shot in the same style as a movie. Why didn't it work, though?
First of all, if you hadn't seen the movie, which I don't know the box office numbers for that, but I would bet you 3 out of 4 people had never seen that movie.
How many dentists do you think would recommend that movie?
6 out of 10.
Yeah, so it breaks down like 3 out of 5.
Ooh, wow. That's fancy math. For me, Turbulence. Here's what happened. Okay? If you'd never seen the movie, you're supposed to pick up on a story. What the fuck is a gripper? You might have told me in the story what's a gripper, but I don't know.
Your craw is exposed, and there is something sticking in it, and it's in the form of a gripper.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, if you're going to do a spin-off TV show of a movie, not everybody has seen that movie. If you think that everybody has seen that movie, you're fucking full of yourself. Okay? Mm-hmm. Paul Reiser looks great.
There needs to be a little exposition. Right. Let's catch everyone up.
Why are these guys here? Who are they? Mm-hmm. What's going on? None of that's explained. It's just like, you pushed stop on the DVD player for Diners. Guess what? Here's the movie.
You're right. It just kind of throws you in the mix, and you're supposed to like tread water until you catch up, right?
But I felt like I was drowning the whole time. Mm-hmm. And then the gripper, whenever the gripper came into play, it was like somebody was taking my leg and pulling me down into the water.
Oh my god!
And I can't swim very good. Pulling me down in the water.
Terrifying. Just terrifying. What would you have done to improve it? Maybe like given an exposition or some sort of explanation to kind of catch everyone up?
They have to. We've seen a lot of shows that have done a good job or an adequate job of catching people up.
Yeah, I agree. What about it if it had survived? Where would you have liked it to gone?
There's obviously going to be some domestic violence stories and how those go about, right?
Obviously, of course.
And you're going to have to go into each one of these guys' lives and their relationships. I really want to find out about Boogie and why he's a fucking hairdresser.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Do you think this would benefit as an hour, like more of a drama as an hour, or do you think they should crank up the comedy and keep it at a half hour?
Don't crank up the comedy because it's not what it is intended for. It's not a comedy. Make it 45 minutes, an hour, like I said, and do it that way, definitely.
So you think dive a little deeper, really get to know these characters?
Divers do it deeper, Jason. Divers do it. Jimmy Buffett told me.
To your face?
Oh. He got up in my face at a Jimmy Buffett concert one time.
At his own concert?
He jumped off the stage. He got in my face. He said, Blake, divers do it deeper.
Wow. It stuck with you, apparently.
Yep. I mean, for life. I mean, when me and Molly got married in Vegas.
Yeah. What'd you say to her?
I said, we were up at the pew.
Yeah. Standing
we were outside, actually.
Okay.
In like a gazebo. And the preacher guy said, hey, you take this man, you take this wife, blah, 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 blah. Do you have anything to say? I said, honey, divers do it deeper.
Nice. Very nice.
And she's like, I don't have scuba gear, but let's do this.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah, it meant a lot to me.
Do you? I mean, even though it seemed like you had a confrontation with Jimmy Buffett, do you credit him with the success of your current marriage?
You know what? I'm going to have to look at that and say yes.
Yeah.
You know,
it's interesting because maybe you've never thought of it in that way before, right?
This is as long as I've ever been married before, where divorce wasn't talked about.
Okay.
So, amen to Jimmy Buffett.
Amen, and amen to all of you. We touched on some of our thoughts here. Mm-hmm. Let's see what other people had to say about Diner.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
Just like everything we discuss here, it's on IMDb.
Every rose has its thorn.
Is that because I said every?
Yep.
You're just reaching tonight, and that's fine. Because if nothing else, this show is built on the back of your songs. Now, let me ask you this. If you had to guess what the rating from IMDb was, 1 out of 10, decimal points included, where does Diner fall?
6.8?
Very close. 7.3.
Okay.
From 113 ratings.
That's a good amount.
Not too bad. Let's see what a critic says. Roger Cormier actually pushes glasses onto face. The Diner TV pilot was the first show about nothing. And this is kind of where I derive some of my Seinfeld stuff. Diner managed to be ahead of its time both in cinema and in television, but was only commercially successful in one of them. In regards to artistic merit, the pilot did not match or exceed the lofty expectations put upon it by its cinematic equivalent. This, of course, is ridiculously not fair, but cannot be ignored. While Levinson was already and would turn out to be a successful television creative, writing for the Carol Burnett Show before Diner and executive producing Oz and Homicide: Life on the Street afterwards, anyone could have easily mismanaged the tricky-to-capture tone in hypothetical subsequent episodes and tarnished the legacy of the movie, which subsequently would have changed the comedic television landscape. It was for the best that the boy men, the characters in the show, get to stay young forever, preserved on DVDs.
There's a lot of $5 words.
So many. But there's probably $150 worth of $5 words in that paragraph.
But I'll tell you what. Let me boil it down to you guys. The plain folk.
Mm-hmm. Like you and I.
Don't know what the fuck a gripper is.
That's all we want. You know what? That's really what this episode comes down to is tell me what a gripper is.
Right.
What be a gripper?
I don't know.
Gripper, who is you?
Who is you?
Viewer reviews. They should have put this on the DVD from Movie Addict 2016.
They did that to LA Confidential.
They did.
They did. So, you know what? He's got a point.
Who was that young gentleman we had on the episode where we talked about Darkman? Remember that guy?
Oh, Travis.
Great guy.
Great guy.
And Travis was telling us, and I think we learned that there's that pilot was actually on one of the DVDs for the Shadow movies.
Right.
So that's a smart move, right? Why not throw it on there?
Definitely.
I must say that I'm a bit surprised to find a television show based on Diner. This is a pilot that was filmed but never accepted by any television studios. It was based on the obscure but excellent 1982 drama by Barry Levinson, which starred, here you go, Mickey Rourke, Paul Reiser, Steve Guttenberg, Daniel Stern, and Kevin Bacon. So really an all-star cast. A lot of those guys went on to do great
Amazing things.
Yeah.
I wonder who
wrote the Book of Love?
No, who Kevin Bacon was. Eddie? No, he's not an Eddie.
Those are five guys.
Five Guys Pizza?
Burgers and fries. Mickey Rourke, I bet, was Michael Madsen, right?
Yeah, definitely Boogie.
And then Steve Guttenberg, boy, I don't know. Maybe he was Eddie. Daniel Stern, I could see being the, I don't know. That's murky territory.
Weird. Well, let's not go there.
Yeah, let's not.
That's diving into movies, and we can't do that.
This spinoff features Michael Madsen, Mr. Blonde from Reservoir Dogs, as the work character. It says right there, Boogie. Oh, James Spader, who was allegedly was a background dancer in the opening segment of the film itself, plays the Bacon character. So he's kind of tell us right here. So James Spader played Fenwick.
Makes sense. I can come to grips with that. And
then of course Paul Reiser returns. He's the only actor to return. The DVD for Diner was surprisingly good. It contained special features and animated menus. Pretty good for a $6 DVD made in an era of those cheap trailer-only DVDs. But I really do wish they'd put this on there. I don't think this film was very successful financially when it came out. It remains to this day largely unknown, with only over 3,000 votes on IMDb, which isn't high at all. So they're talking about the movie at this point. So anyway, the next guy says, "Okay, Pilot." That's by Sheldon Sturges, the real Shell at yahoo.com for Phoenix, Arizona. He says, this pilot, blah, 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 blah. Trio Network, you mentioned in there. We do love the Trio Network. Although, oddly enough, Eddie's wife Elyse figures in the pilot, while she's actually never seen completely in the film, which seemed to show Eddie's ultimate terror at getting married. The film, Diner, is one of my desert island films. I've always loved the movie, but the pilot version is also worth a look.
Huh.
So he says, it's all right.
Huh. That's interesting.
It's a couple people telling you what they think.
A couple people is better than no people.
I kind of want to know what you think.
I want to know what you think.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11 and the temperature is 69 degrees. For your safety and comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
We bantered. You got to hear the bantering. You know you wanted it.
It was great. The bantering is always good.
Yeah. We told you where to find the episode. We took you back in time to the year.
We dove in.
We did it deeper, We gave you the interesting facts. We summarized it. We broke down the pilot. We told you what other people thought. We told you what we do to make it better. But now, all of that has to culminate into a number. A rating, if you will. We looked at the classic television show Wings. Based on the characters from that show, a 1 to 7, 1 being the worst you can get, it's a Roy Biggins. Number 7, the best you can get, just like Gillette, a best a man can get. It's Brian Hackett.
Can you run through them real quick, just for our new listeners?
Sure. Again, worst to best, you got Roy Biggins at number 1. Faye Cochran, number 2. She had the counter at Sandpiper here. Number 3, Antonio Scarpacci. It was Monk himself, Tony Shalhoub, sitting at the counter ordering a sandwich every day. Joe Hackett, the man with the plan, Tim Daly, in charge of Sandpiper Air. Used to be Lowell Mather by Thomas Hayden Church. We switched it to Bud Bronski after the man who played it himself, Brian Haley, contacted the show and worked with us. Helen Chaplin, number 6. And again, number 7, the wild brother, the bomber jacket, the free-flowing hair, played by Steven Weber, the best you can get. Number 7, Captain Philip Restisher. I turn to you. How do you rate Diner?
Diner was tough. The gripper thing I was obsessed about through the whole thing. Mm-hmm. It took me a while to catch up to figure out what was going on. Paul Reiser was good. Spader was good. I think everybody acted well in it. Yeah. I don't think there was any issues with the acting. I love the scene with Eddie and his mom and his wife.
Laying down the law.
I loved it.
It all counts. All of these count. It all adds up to something.
I'm going to get a 4, right down the middle.
Yeah, 4.
Damned if I do, damned if I don't.
I'm about in the same boat. I'm going to give it 1 higher. I'm going to give it a 5. I like this show.
Okay.
Again, came out in the early 80s. Set in the 60s. I like a good period piece.
Gross.
And, whatever. It only happens, with the cycle of the moon. But I do like a good period piece. And I think it captured it pretty well. It's a slice of life. It did a lot of things that... I really agree with that one review with all the $5 letters. It did things other shows weren't doing at the time. It was kind of supposed to be a comedy. It's a slice of life, light comedy, light drama, no laugh track.
Like kind of what my life's like. Fucked in the head after I beat a fucking ass every night. I
love Hamilton. Love that.
That was Eminem.
Love Lin-Manuel LaGramcracker. But I did like this. All right. I think it could have been better. I think this could run as a show for sure, and it would. It would have changed the comedic landscape of television if it had continued because other shows were not shot like this.
Do you think it was a comedy though? To me, it was not very comedic.
I think it was dipping its toes into comedy, and it was dipping it into drama a little bit. A lot of the conversations were light and frivolous around the table, meant to have some sort of comedic value. I think.
Okay.
It just
a dry humor.
For sure. It wasn't great, but I did enjoy it.
Okay.
I appreciate it for what it was, and for that, I give it a 5.
I'll accept your rating.
Thank you for accepting it. And with that, we close the book on Diner, never to be mentioned again.
Ever!
But we're not done. As long as there are pilots out there with only 1 episode, TV shows that couldn't go further than episode 1 will be there.
Wow.
Won't you join us next time when we watch the pilot episode of Turner and Hooch? Here's a little something to wet your whistle. Based on the 1989 feature film, this series follows the adventures of a detective and his partner, an extraordinarily clever St. Bernard. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in iTunes or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or go to Daily Motion, and you know what
to do. Motion.
Motion.
That was not a St. Bernard, by the way. It was not a St. Bernard.
It's not. No, it was a Mastiff.
Some kind of Mastiff.
Motion. Daily Motion.
Motion.
Lotion.
Lotion. Jack off.
Notion. Commotion. Locomotion.
Good. Wow.
Daily Motion. You know what to do too.
Nice.
Saved it. Really saved it there.
Use the Daily Motion app, not the website.
Absolutely. The website is very bizarre. I feel like it's always loading and freezing. Download on your smartphone the Daily Motion app. They got a really large and bizarre library of things, including a lot of these unsold pilots that we like to talk about. And you'll be pleasantly surprised to find that it is streamable right through that app.
High five Daily Motion.
You want to contact us? You want to give us a virtual high five? Go to couchpilotspodcast@gmail.com. Send us your thoughts, your feelings. Tell us what you think about anal down tricklenomics that Ronald Reagan had so much to talk about. Facebook, Couch Pilots Podcast. Rate us on Facebook. Rate us on iTunes. Some interaction with the show are going to garner you points. That can be done through Twitter, Couch Pilots Pod. If you follow us on Twitter, you're going to see us reach out to the creators and the stars of the shows, and you'll know before anyone what's coming down the pike.
Yeah, it's like an inside scoop.
For sure it is.
All the social medias are a great place to contact us. We love fan interaction.
Yeah.
We love it.
It fuels. If you're like, I don't want to hear those two assholes talk about each other or that poor man with Down syndrome, guess what? The more fan feedback you get, we're going to have to focus on that feedback.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So we'll focus on you and your feedback instead. That's fair. Instagram, couch_pilots_podcast. Call us. 910-PILOTS-1. That's 910-745-6871 if you want to leave us a voicemail. Again, do it in the middle of the night. Please call us right in the middle of the night if you would. Set your alarm. Most people sleep through the night, but set your alarm. You can wake up and then dial us in the middle of the night. And then go to fcfnetwork.com and check out all of the family of shows there. There's going to be something you like. You might have heard all 60 of our episodes and be like, I am done. This sucks. No more. That's fine. Go on to one of our other shows. Right. I'm sure you'll enjoy them.
Right. Wow.
That's a lot. A lot of ways to interact.
Intense.
Anything else you'd like to say to our frequent flyers before we go today?
No. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, for all the fan feedback from Lori Garcia, Richard, don't call him Dick, Conrad, and Tyler. I promise we're getting to it next week. And I want to thank you, Captain Black Magnet.
Thank you, sir.
It's a good time, and there's not much that needs to be said at the end of these shows.
I don't like to say very much at all.
But thank you.
Thank you.
And we would love to hear from you.
Actually, the only thing I do like to say at the end of the show is that this pilot may have been rough, but it's always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.
We love you. Good night.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.
This has been a Fakakta Comedy Funhouse production, produced by Jason Tosher, executive produced by Blake Clayton. For more information and content, go to fcfnetwork.com.